Snipers, we have an extremely interesting start to the week with our new previous weekly opens on our charts, which means support and resistance levels that we have to monitor this week, Snipers. And the Bitcoin against SPY pairing is potentially ready to break out. Are we going to be seeing a decoupling effect for Bitcoin against the equity markets this week with Bitcoin's volatility stagnant over the last 4 weeks? Let's dive straight into the chart, Snipers, for this Monday update with equity markets set to open up in less than 12 hours. I had to get out this emergency 3 a.m. update, Snipers. Notice how the DXY is above its previous weekly open, and the S&P 500 and Bitcoin are below their previous weekly opens. For Bitcoin specifically, the most important level right now in the immediate short term, maybe while you're watching this video, we come to test this major resistance, which is 19,439. That is the new major resistance level or potentially a support level for this week. This is the previous weekly open. For Ethereum, what you'll notice as well is we have our previous weekly open at 1323. It looks like price is coming up to test its previous weekly open. The S&P 500 also, right now as I record this video, testing its previous weekly open. 3638 is extremely important for the S&P 500 this week. And so the NASDAQ right now, you can see, is up over 1% in futures markets, but none of that really matters unless we can see the S&P 500 and Bitcoin get above its previous weekly open. That's going to be the first early confirmation that we do have an upside move ready for this week. And then, Snipers, what's extremely important to monitor right now is the Bitcoin against SPY chart is flirting with this major resistance, about to invalidate this descending triangle. If we can break above this resistance with decisiveness, that would be extremely important for the cryptocurrency market, because that could lead Bitcoin to potentially decouple away from the equity markets. So regardless what happens to the equity markets, Bitcoin is still going to be safe here. So an extremely important week coming up, Snipers. What really matters right now for Bitcoin is to get above 19,439. And what that will allow Bitcoin to do is to tighten up even further below 19,800, which is the 2018 previous all-time high. And at any point in time, if we can get above 19,800, now we are potentially ready to see an upside move and to start discussing upside targets, which our first upside target would be the 20-week moving average at 21,000 US dollars right now. You have to understand, Snipers, what this means. If the previous weekly open gets breached, 19,439, then there's potentially a move ready to happen for Bitcoin to test the 20-week moving average, especially if we see the Bitcoin against SPY chart break out. The 20-week moving average is sitting at 21,000 US dollars. That's a very different scenario than a few months back when the 20-week moving average was above 25,000 US dollars. And the reason that's so significant is because if we can get above the 20-week moving average, that's the bull market resistance right now, then if we can turn that into a support, we can start really assuming further upside targets for the cryptocurrency market, specifically for Bitcoin. So coming into this week, we're going to monitor the Bitcoin against SPY pairing. Bitcoin potentially testing its 20-week moving average sitting at 21,000 US dollars. And then, of course, in the immediate short term, we have those previous weekly opens to work off of. And so let's continue to monitor what happens here with the DXY showing bearish divergence. And we know that there is a record amount of short positions open right now. We have yet to see a short squeeze. What we're monitoring for the DXY, you can see it's opposite to what's happening to Bitcoin and equity markets. It's above its previous weekly open. If we can break down below 112.747, that right there would be a breach of support for the DXY to potentially confirm a downside move. Let's continue to monitor this. We know since we've tested this multi-year resistance at 114 for the DXY, we have yet to see the US dollar form further yearly highs. And so we have to continue to monitor what's happening here over the next week, Snipers. We had the PPI report and the CPI report last week, so that's out of the way. It's going to be an interesting time here in the markets. I'll keep you guys updated as always, Snipers. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content. And until next time, Snipers,